So, my husband had the policy throughout his lifetimes to contain people in various isolated places, to set up baffles to keep things from mixing together, and to allow people to have fulfilling lives, and without finding them again in some of the places where he'd found them in trouble. He was very forgiving about things like this to a point. And then he starts finding some of these people that he's stashed away in enclaves, getting in deeper trouble than they'd ever gotten in before. So he starts going around and investigating that. One of the things that he found out was these Rime books had been published, and that a lot of these people were reading them, that they were accessible. Even the people that couldn't read, some of these instructions are so essential that they could be transmitted among non-literate people. It was encouraging people to learn to read when they never thought that learning to read was important to them in their lives. They were starting to become more likely to choose reading and study as a hobby. And then they were doing various things elaborately and non-elaborately, having the access of isolation and various things. And didn't always essentialize or deconstruct the metaphors as people would want. These practices were based on very, very literal practices in the past that gradually began to transfer into the more more essential meanings of the practices. The more, what part of my body, what channel am I trying to affect? How can I affect it without sacrificing, 7 men at this particular cave? How do I do that? And so they had worked all that out. But sometimes people were reversing that. Sometimes people were catering to the market of people who reversed that. Sometimes people had been stabilized in various ways, so that they didn't didn't think about all the different possibilities. And so he got more directly involved in all of that. Found out that some of the problem was that some of the anthologies that he had compiled secretly in Durgi had been published to a wider audience, and even some of his writings had been, a little bit revised and put out there. So then people were accessing other works and stuff like that. So it is what it is. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. But you do need to study Arabic and read between the lines of the Quran.